What is up, my lovely people in BluCranium land? So for today's video, guys, I wanted to draw you a backbone in my style. So I found this picture on Pinterest somewhere when I was scrolling through it, and I just added it to one of my favorites. And you can clearly see that the artist that illustrated this was going more for the humanoid, I guess, authentic or realistic looking backbone. And every time I've looked at the backbone, I always think of maybe what if this could be like the actual skeleton form of a millipede or a centipede, because they have all these many hundreds of legs. So I think it definitely has the shape of that. And then if you look below, he's really, or he or she has really gotten the line work down to the T, And if you look at the bottom of it, it kind of has like that predator mask kind of look in, I think it was in the first one of Arnold, where he kind of rips apart the spinal cord of one of his soldiers. I can't remember which part of the movie, but anyway. But this is what I did for the rough sketch to kind of build off the backbone. So I kind of did this ahead of time, and basically what I did was I just drew 3 parallel lines and then just boxed off all the areas where I wanted the different sections of the backbone to come, and then I reduced the opacity obviously, and just started to freehand it. And at the point when I started freehanding this, there was no really idea as to what I wanted it to look like. I was just doing completely, just going exactly from what's in my mind and bringing it onto the paper. And as I kept doing this process, I thought about the movie Terminator, and that's definitely one of my favorite movies of all times. And the reason being is because of all the cyborg Terminators and all the different models in there. It's just amazing. You have the metal endoskeleton in, I think it was part 1, and then part 2, and then I think in part 3 was the one where they have the lady who's, or the Terminatrix, who's played by Kristanna Loken. And I think what was cool about that Terminator is the fact that her internal skeleton, instead of it being like a regular steel kind of color, it almost had this bluish kind of hue to it, which I thought was really cool for the time. So that's what I was thinking about when I wanted to draw this backbone. I wanted to give it that futuristic Terminator look, And these little sprocket things, or these things that kind of jut out from an authentic or a real skeleton or a backbone in the real world, I wanted to show these were definitely parts of the skeleton that were interlinked by some sort of wire system. At this point I was not really sure where I wanted to put the wires, but as I was done with the rough pencil sketch over here, I played around with it with the inking, and then just see what I can come up with. Usually when I'm done with these rough sketches, this is just like a base layer, and then when I start the inking, it's again using all the creative knowledge that's stacked in my head over a period of years. And for this one, what I did different is I chose the line weight of the brushed B20, and I just did the line art or the exterior lining with the line 20 or the brush 20, so it gives it that nice tough and rugged look, And with trying different line art, I always look at other artists and what they have done. And there are a few artists that I follow on Instagram, and these guys pretty much do just black line art. So it's always cool to see what is it they do to make their art really pop, and this is one of the techniques where they do like some really thick line art for the outer lining, and then slowly as the art progresses, you'll see that they do like thin line weight, which really definitely makes the piece stand out on the paper as opposed to just following one line weight. But yeah, the movie Terminator is definitely going to be one of my favorite movies of all times. I think I've watched like all the parts like I don't know how many times, but it has definitely been a movie that has been way ahead of its time. And like, when I first watched it, I mean, I was just blown away that, thinking that, oh wow, these steel skeletons are inside some sort of a human. And I think I remember watching the movie when I was, I want to say 9 or 10 in my uncle's place, and I think that was the first time I was all like thrilled and excited to watch the movie for the very first time. I think it was part 1, obviously. That's where the whole fascination with the metal skeletons, and I don't know why sometimes my camera does this little shaky thing, but as you can see over here now, I chose the line weight of 10, and I really like how you can definitely tell the difference in line weight and how the thicker lines and the thinner lines really add that character to the piece, and you can definitely tell the texture that's going on, But yeah, these pieces, when I do these illustrations, it's always what do you call it? I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say. It's a challenge between my brain and I think my thought process as to what is going on in there, because I mean, I've got like so many creative ideas that I don't even know in this lifetime if I'm going to be able to get to draw all of them out. But what I do like is these illustrations and showing a usual regular part of the body just illustrated in a completely different kind of style, and that brings me to talking about that another artist I told you. I don't know if I told you all this in another video, but there's a guy that's based out of Ohio that draws these really cool looking skulls, and it's just mind-blowing. So for the colors, I wanted to pick like maybe grays first because of it being the steel skeleton, but then I opted to go for the blues, thinking of the Terminator 3 part or the part 3 where she has like this bluish kind of skeleton on the inside. So I wanted to make it look like the actual backbone was made of some sort of a blue steel. And for these wires, what I drew, I'd actually originally planned on making them like yellow and orange, so it would kind of stand out against the blue. But then I just figured I'll go with green. So, because blue and green also kind of have like a nice good contrast. So, yeah. But with these illustrations, it's always fun in the aspect is because when I've always, like as I said in my earlier videos, I've made lists of things I want to draw and illustrate. And whenever I decide I want to do one of these, it's always like, I always look at Pinterest and just, browse through Google Images to see what other art has been illustrated in this form, to just get an idea, to get the creative juices flowing. I mean, sometimes it'll just be, I'll do like a rough sketch on a A4 size paper, which I've got like a whole stack of. And then sometimes I'll just take a picture of that and then, convert that into vector art with just the image that I've drawn. And that's maybe something I might probably make as a video for a later time, just to show you guys like how you can transform like a regular pencil sketch into something vector. And for the shading over here now, I just chose the darker colors of the original flat colors that I chosen, and wanted to give it that nice glow look of steel, which is, I think, steel, just like water, is definitely something that takes years and time to perfect. And you can see in the very end of here, I added these kind of like microchips to kind of look like, that kind of like just as it was being ripped apart or something, like, just kind of flew off in different directions. So I thought that kind of gave it this nice, more of the futuristic look. But yeah, I mean, let me know in the comment section if you guys have tried any of the other art videos that I've put out and illustrations on how I drew the skull or the backbone and other things, and let me know what y'all think, because coming up with the video ideas, I mean, like, going forward, I'm thinking, I don't know if I would do tutorial videos on Adobe Fresco, because I mean, there are channels out there that have already done like a beautiful job of teaching. So I think it's more for me, it's more showing you how I draw. And I'm thinking in future series or as the channel progresses, I'm going to try and do something like maybe a little bit more of a simple line art sketch to kind of show you what my thought process in a more simplified form. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and had fun following along. And as always, keep creating, keep trying. I will see y'all down the road or on the other side. Take care, guys. Bye for now.